I really tried. In fact, I almost lasted 3 months, but Jetboil, you finally broke me. So I know I was probably kidding myself, and it was only me that truly believed that I wouldn't buy a new stove in 2026. Everybody said that would fail, but I didn't really want one. There's no stove that I needed. I've got stoves that pretty much cover every eventuality, and then Jetboil released a new stove, the TrailCook, and although it's not marketed as that, it's pretty much the newer version of the Jetboil Minimo, which is one of my favourite stoves of all time. But this has got quite a few decent upgrades to it. It is a little bit bigger in capacity, so 1.2 litres. It's got a new improved handle system, which is good. The lid is superior. The cup on the bottom, way better than the one on the Minimo. And the main star of the show, well, there's two main stars of the show. There's a new improved burner, but the pot itself is ceramic coated, so it is a really good non-stick surface. But there are two really big things that will put a lot of people off. First of all, it is a chunky lad, a bit like me, weighing in at 493 grams, and the price is ridiculous. £180 to buy this. Although when I bought this, middle of March, I got this, and you couldn't get it anywhere in the UK at the time, not in this colour anyway. So I imported it, thought I got a good deal until I got the import charges through. So 180 quid, but to me it might be worth it. Let's find out. So let's take a closer look at the TrailCook 1.2. As the name suggests, it is a 1.2 litre pot. There does come in a 2 litre pot version as well. It has got a lid with straining areas on there, so for draining off your pasta, things like that. I do like the new little gripper, so you don't burn your hands or anything like that, and it's easy to get the lid off, much easier than the old Minimo. Put that to one side. Little sponge doesn't come with it. Inside there's enough room to store gas canister, and this is the new improved burner. Very different to the old style ones. This doesn't actually lock on the same as the old burners do. It's got a built-in piezo igniter, a new regulator system, and there's a nice grippy area here, the orange section, where you can hold on to, so you're not going to burn your hands when you can lift, so you can lift the stove up basically. The igniter's built in. Just turn it, it clicks. We'll see that working in a moment. There is a canister support, standard Jetboil one. We will stick that on just for giggles. There we go. And then we've got the ceramic coated pot, which I much prefer to Teflon. There are one or two health concerns associated with Teflon. Might be worth looking that up on the Tinterweb, although I don't believe everything you read on the Tinterweb. The non-stick coating on this has been really good, so I've been using this since middle of March. It has got markers in there as well, but they're not that easy to see depending on what the light is, because they're in black. And then we've got this little cup on the bottom. It's made from a much more robust material than the one on the Minimo. There are a few markers in there as well. Again, they're not the easiest to see. And then you've got the trademark Jetboil flux ring on the bottom for transferring the heat across the base of the pot. So let's have a closer look at that burner. So this is a regulated burner, which means the pressure is constant throughout the lifespan of the gas canister. So when you've got lower volume of gas left in there, you're still going to get a constant pressure. It also means it's better for performance in colder weather conditions. See how easy it is to screw on. Oh, almost first time. And then, like I said, you've got these little grippy areas, so you can pick the stove up even when you've been using it and it's hot. So these arms are very different. So on the older Jetboil ones, there's like a ring with a lock on it. So you put the pot on, twist it and lock it. it doesn't do that anymore. But on this pot, there's like a bit of a lip here, which fits nicely into where these arms are on the top of the burner. So it's not going anywhere. You know, you can give it a little bit of a wobble, especially when there's water or something in it. It's not going anywhere, but you can just keep lifting it on and off. So that is great for cooking. You've not got to do the twist thing. I prefer this. So before I fire the stove up, I just want to say a quick thank you to Squarespace, who sponsored the video today. So Squarespace is a website that allows you to build a website of your own. So I've been using Squarespace for quite a few years now for selling merchandise, promoting my YouTube channel, sending out newsletters, that kind of thing. Whereas the wife, she uses the e-commerce feature for selling her artwork and her paintings. So it's really easy to do. Squarespace takes care of all the payments and stuff like that for you. But we've got no idea when it comes to web design or coding. All we did was choose one of their ready-made templates. We uploaded our own photos, added some text, and then just dragged things around a little bit. And within a couple of hours, we had a website. The platform's got loads of other different features. You can upload videos, set up subscription services. You can even check the analytics to see where all of your traffic's coming from. And if you fancy having a go at building a website of your own, if you click the link in the description below or head over to squarespace.com/Paul Messner, you get a totally free trial so you can set everything up, and when you're ready to go live, you'll get 10% off your first purchase. So as I was saying, I've been using this stove now since the middle of March. It has featured on 1 or 2 videos, I think. I'm not sure which of the channels. And I do really like it. As you can imagine, being a Jetboil and having the flux ring in there is really efficient, really fast boil times, but it's also been great for cooking. I've done things like scrambled eggs, porridge, things that would normally stick in a conventional pan, perfectly fine in here. So today I thought I would have a go at cooking some lunch, cooking something proper as well. I've even brought a cookbook with me from my old friend Harrison Ward. Cookout. You might know Harrison on social media as the Fell Foodie. Very inspirational, bloody good cook as well. And today I'm cooking one of his recipes, Kedgeree, which is one of my old favourites. My mum used to cook this. We used to call it kedge, which is like a curried spicy rice with eggs and fish in it. So for the boil test, instead of making a brew, I need a boiled egg. So let's just get some water in the pan. Right, so it says that it is a 1.2 litre pot. However, Jetboil recommends that you don't fill it over 700 millilitres. Although I have boiled 1 litre of water in this and not had any problems. It is a safety feature because you don't want the pot, if you're unattended, boiling over. Let me show you how this burner works. So you just turn it, click, and you've got a really fine simmer control on there. Although you can't see the flame very well, you might be able to see the ripples. So it's good for delicate stuff as well as rapid boiling. Right, let's get the pot on. I could put the eggs in now, but I'm going to boil the water first and get them going for 7 minutes. And then I should have a little bit of runny yolk left in my egg. So while that's boiling, let's do a little bit of food prep. Check out the ingredients. Need a bit of milk, some spices, butter, bay leaves, no idea what they're for, an onion, nice piece of smoked haddock there, some rice. I've gone for the Tilda version because when I look at the ingredients, it's only got in natural rice and then some rice bran oil, so there's no other additives or preservatives. Red chilies, and then there's an egg in there. We're about there, so we'll get the egg in for 7 minutes. Oh, losing a few bits of paper there. Catch those. Lid back on. Right, that is raging, so we're just going to calm that down a little bit. Turn the gas down. Saves on fuel, doesn't it? And just let that simmer away. I wouldn't normally bring a book with me. I'd take a photo of the recipe or something like that, or practice at home. Recipe says dice an onion. I haven't bought a chopping board, so we shall use my Sea to Summit plate. So apparently, if you leave the root bit on, you don't get cry face. I don't know if this is the correct way to do it, but I've seen people do it like this before. Just leave the root on like that, chop round it, and then you can go like this, hold it together somehow. Watch them pinkies. I'm not a chef, by the way. Oh shit, Sherlock. It does say roughly dice. Doesn't come much rougher than my dicing. Get a cold water just to put the egg in. So I've reached 7 minutes. Get the water off. And I'm just going to drop the egg into the cold water, just so it doesn't cook anymore. The stove certainly boils well. Let's see if it cooks now, shall we? Get some of this butter in the pan. Probably half of that. Don't want it to get too hot or burn. So make sure that this is on a nice low heat. If you feel like it's starting to get hot as well, do you know, because it's not locked in, you can just keep lifting it off the pot. It's not fully melted yet, but I'm going to get the onions in. Not got all day, have we? I've brought a recipe book with me and I've still cocked it up and done it in the wrong order. I should be poaching the fish right now, but we'll get them done first. Not sure how much gas is in this canister, so I have brought a spare one with me just in case. But this is the same gas canister that's been on since middle of March. And I've used it quite a few times. So the onions are about done. But I'm not going to add the seasoning yet. I'll put them back in the pan afterwards. I'm going to put them in here, so I'll take this egg out of the way. And they can go back in the pan. Would have been much easier if I'd done it in the right order, wouldn't it? But it's all going to be the same flavour, so it doesn't matter if my fish tastes a bit fried oniony. There's no sticking in there though, is there? That is a lovely bit of fish. A bit too big for the pan that way, so I'm going to cut it in half. Let's get that in the pan. Oh, like a glove. We need to cover the fish with milk. Let's hope I brought enough milk. Perfect. We're going to add a pinch of salt. So I brought my spice tin with me again. I've pre-measured out a teaspoon each of the garam masala, mild curry powder and turmeric, but it asks for a little bit of sea salt as well. So we're just going to put a little sprinkling of salt in there and a couple of bay leaves. Now, I don't know if I probably had bay leaves before at some point, but I've no idea what they're going to add to this party. Well, let's get them in. That'll do. Fire up jetty again. Let it do its thing. While we're waiting, I might as well prep the chilli. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too painful, Harrison. I'm not going to put loads on because I am a bit of a lettuce, a bit of a wet wipe when it comes to chilies and things. Let's have a go. Not too bad. The fish are starting to cook already. It's not taking long at all. Right, I am not sure how long to actually cook this for. and if it's cooked enough. Let me have a look. It's only had a few minutes, but feels like it's flaking nicely. So I need to take this out. Let's just put that. Feels nice and firm. To one side. That is just flaking apart. Just how we want it. Flaky fish. How good does that look? Taste test. Ooh. Whatever that bay leaf is, it's added something. Says I might need some of this milk afterwards. Alright, let's get these onions back in the pan. Right, it says once your onions are softened, which they already are. Get that nice and low because there's a bit of milk on there. We don't want burnt milk on, do we? Burnt milk is the worst thing to get off. Right, it says add your spices. So we've got turmeric, which we're going to add in. Seems like a lot, that, doesn't it? Garam masala. And some chili curry powder. Mild curry powder. So get that in as well. And just stir that all up. Like that. Ooh, yes. That smell. Add the rice. So I'm going to break it up first in the packaging. I don't know what rice to use. I've gone basmati because it feels like it's a Middle Eastern kind of dish. It says add a bit of milk to it. Although I prefer to add water, I think. Heat down a bit. Add a bit of water. Look at that now. Rice is taking in all them flavours and them colours as well. Now at this point it says to start flaking in the fish, so let's just break it off into decent sized chunks. Not sure about the skin. Leave that in there a second, the skin. Oh, that is looking lovely. Curried fish is massively underrated. Have a look at that. Right, I just need to get my hard-boiled egg ready. And then I'm ready to go. I'm not going to be able to eat all this, by the way. Look at that. That looks wonderful. Let's get this egg cut. Hopefully, oh, look at the state of them. Little bit of runny yolk left in them. And then a couple of red chilies. Voila! Kedgeree a la Jetboil TrailCook. As with everything, proof is in the eating. So we're going to get a nice bit of fish, bit of chili, and a section of boiled egg. My mouth's just about big enough, I think. Fish is awesome. I'm not sharing. I'm going to put it out there. That is one of the best camp stove meals that I've ever had. Lovely. Well worth the effort. A very good test for the stove as well. I'll finish this off and then I'll give you my, not final thoughts, because like I said, I've only had it since mid-March. Can't review it as such, but I can just tell you what I think of it so far. The first big test is going to be, what's it like to clean up? So far it looks like there's nothing stuck to the pan. I've just got a wipe for starters. Just going to give it a wipe out. See if there's anything left on the allegedly non-stick surface. Yeah, if I needed to use this pot again for boiling water, I'd probably put a little bit of water in it and boil some up and then give it a bit of a better clean than that, but I can confirm that it is totally non-stick. Pot scrubber, not needed that at all. There's nothing. Yeah, I'll be happy to put porridge in that now. Still feels like there's a good amount of gas in there, and it's the first gas canister I've had since middle of March. I've boiled eggs there, I've cooked Kedgeree in there, porridge, scrambled eggs. Jetboils tend to be really efficient anyway, don't they? I really like the new burner head. I hated having to click the other stove on. In fact, most of the time I used to just rest it on anyway, but you still had to sort of line it up. This one, doesn't matter which way you're coming from, it works. So you can sort of almost throw it on. You know what I mean? And it's pretty secure. This is loads better than the old one. And we've had no problems lighting the stove. It seems to work. First time, every time so far. Although, you know, built-in piezo igniters, at some point they tend to give up, don't they? I don't know if you can get a repair kit for it. The cup has come in handy actually. It's not the reason by itself to buy a stove, is it? The little cup that comes with it, but certainly better than the other one. Has more use than the other one. Feels like a more substantial bowl that you could eat out of if you want to, but I like using something like this because I can doubles up as a plate, a cutting board, and a big bowl as well. I also really like how everything that you need just comes in one compact unit. You can get your canister support, gas canister, that fits into there like that. So just drop the arms down in its little bag. So although the ceramic coating on these kind of things it's quite tough and robust, you don't want to be using metal scrapers or anything like that. So I use a plastic spoon to stir it. That goes in there. The lid, so much better than the Minimo. The cup, again, so much better. And for me, that is a compact unit. Yeah, so I really love this stove, but I'm a Jetboil fanboy. I loved the Minimo before this, but this is, for me, a marked improvement on the Jetboil Minimo. But Jetboils are like Marmite, aren't they? So I know already in the comments there'll be people saying that Jetboils are overpriced. You may as well get an out kit, brew kit, all of those kind of things, and they're very valid points. This is, like, what did I say, 493 grams. So it's too heavy and too bulky for some people. But I'm happy to carry this for what it can do. But the price, that takes, yeah, it certainly takes some swallowing, doesn't it? For me, for what I do, I'm happy with my purchase. Although I do think it is very expensive for a camp stove. You know, you can get something for around £20 for a stove, and then another £30 or £40, maybe a little bit more if you want a ceramic coated one. You can build up a stove system anyway that probably under £100 that might do the same thing, but it is not all integrated like this, I suppose. It's up to you. For me, I'm happy that I spent the money and bought it, but you might not think so. I am going to be using this quite a lot. But will I be taking it on the long distance hikes? When you've got to save a few grams here and there. It's probably feels too heavy for that, but I love the fact that you can do everything with this. You know, let's have a show. I have shown in one of my other videos with the Sea to Summit Frontier pan, so that's around £55, and that's ceramic coated as well. It's about the same sort of diameter as this, maybe a little bit bigger. But you can fry steaks in this. This is your frying pan. You can fry an egg in this. This has actually got a flatter surface on the bottom than the Cedar Summit one. Yeah, it's up to you. You know, if you think it is worth it. But it is a big chunk of cash, isn't it, for a stove? And then again, everything's expensive these days. I'm not saying buy it. All I'm going to say is it is a fantastic bit of kit. But is it worth the money? That's entirely up to you. But that is it for this one. Thank you for watching. See you next time.